Hey there, welcome back. My name is Katie and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living. If you're new to my channel, we welcome you here. Sorry the dog is whining. My husband's outside and he wants to be out there too, but it's raining today. We finally have some rain after weeks and weeks, probably a month of really no rain. So we're excited about the rain, but the dog's not outside. So just bear with me while he's whining. Anyway, today we're gonna make some freezer meal prep. I'm so excited because I love having this meat in the freezer to pull out and let it thaw, and it marinates as it's thawing, and have dinner not ready to go because you still have to cook the meat, but you don't have to thaw it and then marinate it, but you have to take it out early enough to thaw it to marinate it in time. It's all done in the freezer, ready to go. So we're gonna make some Asian style meatballs, and that is also what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. So we'll make extra, put some in the freezer, and then have some for dinner tonight. We're gonna serve it alongside some white rice with this Japanese barbecue sauce drizzled over top. If you haven't had this before, this stuff is really good. And just some fresh broccoli. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight, and these extra meatballs to go in the freezer for freezer prep. And then we're also gonna be doing a jerk, Caribbean jerk style chicken marinade. I think I may have done this for you before, but it's one of my son's favorites and he's like, we need to have this all the time. So I'm gonna get some more of that in the freezer, and then we're trying a new marinade today. And I told you before, cannot roll my R's, cannot roll any of my letters. So doing these Spanish pronunciations is kind of difficult. Pollo Asado, so a marinated chicken that's Hispanic style. So we're gonna get that marinade going and get those in the freezer also. So we're gonna start with the meatballs so we can get those cooking in the oven. And let's just get started. All right, we are starting with 3 pounds of ground meat. And if you saw my video where we bought, it was a half a cow. We ended up with 96 pounds, I think, of ground meat. And we are loving it. That's what we're gonna be using today, is this grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef that we got from the farmer, from the rancher. So we're gonna get this in our bowl here. Somebody commented and asked if I do a comparison of this meat with other conventional meat. I don't have that today, but I will say we like this a lot better. We like the texture, the flavor, everything a lot better than just conventional ground meat. So 3 pounds of that in our big bowl here. And to that, let me wash my hands real quick. All right, and to that we're gonna add some ginger. Let me get a measure. All right, to that we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of ginger. And then we're gonna add 8-ish garlic cloves, just however many you have. Already smelling good. All right, to that we're gonna add 6 green onions. So I'm gonna give these a good chop real quick. All right, we'll do mostly just the green tops here. All right, and now we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. I just got some panko breadcrumbs. I thought the Japanese style would be good with the Asian meatballs. Let me grab a little measuring cup real quick. All right, and now next is 2 eggs. Three teaspoons of sesame oil. Just gonna eyeball that. 7 tablespoons of coconut aminos. I'm gonna go ahead and measure that out. If you've never had coconut aminos, it is a healthier substitute from soy sauce. It's also gluten-free. Soy sauce has gluten in it. If you're looking for gluten-free options, although the panko breadcrumbs, I guess you could get gluten-free breadcrumbs, but this does not have any soy products in it, which is better for females. Let's see. I find though that if you're using the coconut aminos, you probably need a little bit more than you would if you had soy sauce. The saltiness is not as strong. We're gonna pour that in. And some salt and pepper. All right, I'm gonna move my cutting board over so we can get in on these meatballs. So what I like to do when I'm dealing with a lot of ground meat, like if I'm making meatballs or meatloaf, is I like to take 2 forks and just do most of the work with the forks. It keeps them extra tender. So we're gonna get this all mixed up. I do have my oven preheating on 400 degrees. We will bake these off before we freeze them. You could flash freeze them raw and then put them in Ziploc bags, but I'm gonna go ahead and bake them. If you're interested in the process on how to go about purchasing a side of beef or a quarter of a beef, if you want to share it with somebody, I will leave that video up in the cards on how we did that, the process we went through. All right, this looks good and mixed up. My sheet pan here, and I'm going to use my cookie scoop and just start scooping. All right, I roll them all out and then I start just so they're, well, I scoop them out so they're all the same size, so they cook evenly, and then I roll them. So we got 63 meatballs here. We're gonna get these in the oven on 400 degrees. I think they're gonna take like 20 minutes and brown them up, and we'll move on to our next recipe. Going in the oven. All right, I set that timer for 20 minutes. We'll check on them and we'll move on to our next recipe. Okay, so the next recipe we're gonna do is our jerk chicken. We're gonna make our marinade real quick. First thing we're gonna start off doing is we're gonna do half a cup of oil. I have some avocado oil here. Actually, yeah, we'll double this recipe. Half a cup of oil. Then it calls for half a cup of soy sauce, but like I said, with the coconut aminos, you kind of have to do more than a soy sauce measurement. So we're gonna go 3/4 of a cup of this coconut aminos. I have 10 chicken thighs there, and I'm not quite how many breasts. I'm gonna cut these breasts in half though. And then to that, we're gonna add 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then we're gonna add, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scallions. We're just gonna slice them up. Now typically you put habanero peppers or Scotch bonnet peppers in a Caribbean jerk. I don't have those, and those are a little spicy. I went out to the garden this morning and I got a red jalapeno, 3 red serranos, and a red cayenne. So I'm just gonna slice these up and put these in here. If you don't want it as hot, you can leave the seeds out. You can wear gloves while doing this. Just make sure don't touch your face, your eyes. I can smell the heat. It's crazy. It's like burning my eyes just doing this. All right, throw all these in there. Next, we're gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon, but I think I'm gonna go a little bit heavier than that. And then I think we're gonna do about a teaspoon and a half, teaspoon and 3/4. We're gonna do a teaspoon of ginger. We're gonna do, let's see, this is some thyme. We'll do 2 teaspoons of thyme. Gonna put a bunch of garlic in here. I'll move this out of the way. And like I said, because those coconut aminos don't have as much of a salty taste, we're gonna add, the recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. We'll probably put like 2 teaspoons of salt. And some pepper. Give this a good whisk. All right, so I'm gonna get my 2 freezer bags here. Let me write on the outside what they are. It's harder to do it once they're wet. So we're gonna say it's jerk chicken. All right, we're gonna put 5 thighs in each bag. If you wanna trim your thighs up, you can. We're gonna put these on the grill, so I don't mind the extra fat on it to keep it moist. It will render off in the grill. Put 5 in this one. And I hear my oven there for the meatballs, so I'm gonna give that a look. And then I have these chicken breasts that are super big. So I'm gonna slice these in half this way. And I'll put 2 halves in here also. So we'll have 7 pieces of chicken total in there. And while I have my knife here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my chicken for my other recipe. All right, that's done. And we'll pour our marinade over our chicken. All right, 2 of our 3 prep items are done. This is 2 meals here. We got 2 meals out of our meatballs. Push all the air out. Make sure everything's coated really nicely. All right, we'll move over to our next marinade. I totally left out my brown sugar. So I have 6 tablespoons of brown sugar here. So I'm gonna put 3 in each. And then we'll mix that around again. Now we have these complete. All right, we're gonna get our next marinade going. This is the Pollo Asado, and this is all gonna go in our blender cup. So the first thing we're gonna add is a half a cup of orange juice. This just has the coconut aminos from last time and we're using those again, so it's okay to reuse that. 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, but like I said, we are gonna do extra, so we're using those coconut aminos. So we're gonna do probably 8 tablespoons of the coconut aminos. All right. To this, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm probably just gonna add a whole one of these limes. Pretty juicy limes. All right, next we are going to be adding about 10 cloves of garlic. I think I just dropped my biggest one on the floor. I am gonna rinse that sucker off. All right, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of cumin. Ooh, that might have been a little much. We're gonna add a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna add a teaspoon of pepper. We're gonna add, I'm just gonna add the rest of these onion bottoms from doing our last recipe. We're gonna add those in there. And the last, well, not the last thing, but these are ancho chilies. They come in sometimes in the produce department, sometimes if you have a Hispanic Mexican aisle. It's these ancho chilies. I have taken the stems off, pulled the seeds out, and I've soaked them in hot water to soften them up. So we're gonna add 3 of those in here. Next, we're gonna add 3 chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Chipotle peppers come in a little can like this, and chipotle peppers are smoked jalapenos. So we're gonna add 3 of these. If you want less spicy, you can de-stem them, de-seed them. Actually, I might go for 4 because we like spicy. So that's that. And then we're gonna add, it says 20 grams of honey. I'm just gonna pour some honey in here. All right, we're gonna throw this on the blender. Clean up my counter right here. Try to get everything put away. All right, we're gonna divide our chicken into our 2 bags, but we're gonna write our names on here first. These would be good like on a burrito bowl or a taco or just on the side of some rice and beans. These we'll probably put on the grill also. And I always have plenty in my bags of my marinated meat to have leftovers. All right, let's divide all this up. Put some chicken thighs and some chicken breasts in each one. Wash my hands again. All right, now we're just gonna pour our marinade into each of the bags. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Ooh. I think I'm gonna pour a little oil in here to rinse this out and then pour that in there to make it sure it grills up good. There we go. All right, I don't think I missed any ingredients this time. All right, I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna taste test a meatball. All right, I'll bag half of these up to go in the freezer. I wrote Asian meatballs on my bag. It smells so good. All right, I'll put the rest of them in this bowl for dinner later. There we go. All right, we're gonna taste test one of these meatballs. Here it is. That's really good. I'm gonna drizzle some of this Japanese barbecue sauce on here. I'll taste it again. I don't have anything to drink. If you have not tried this, go get some. It is so good. This bottle I got at Costco. Ooh, see those hiccups I told you about last time. So let's see what we did today. So we were able to get 5 freezer meals. Let's see if we can do this. Like last time I spilled them everywhere. We got 2 packs of the Pollo Asado and 2 of the jerk chicken and 1 of our meatballs. And then we have our meatballs for dinner time. So we hope you give these recipes a try and we'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please hit subscribe and we will see you with our next video. Thanks for watching.